Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Kev's Movie Corner. I am Kev. I have actually Nikki joining me this week for a special episode, and we're going to be talking about Dolly Parton's movie 9 to 5. Nick, you told me you wanted to watch this, so I broke with my others, my list of movies to watch this one this week.
Good. It's worth it.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. This movie came out in 1980, which I will say when I first started watching it, it did not look like it was from the 80s. It didn't look that old to me.
Yeah, I always thought that too.
But it is a wild ride.
It is so fun.
Like I was watching it, and it's a lot. It's funny. It's ridiculous. It stars Dolly Parton,
Jane Fonda, and Lily Tomlin.
as the three main,
which I love all of them
characters,
but especially them together.
Yeah. Basically what they're doing is their boss is a sexist, horrible person, and they're trying to basically get back at him the whole movie. And it starts out kind of with, them all meeting, because, Jane Fonda's character comes into the place where, Dolly and Lily Tomlin work. And it's like the first night after they all get mad, they all go drinking together, and then they all go smoke pot together, which is hilarious. Yeah. And they have their little cutaways of how they would deal with him, and how they would, one of them wants to kill him, and how they would deal with their boss. And I thought that after that, the movie wouldn't get any crazier, but it did. And I was not expecting it to get that much crazier. So
it does.
There's a little sequence where they're all like I said, going through how they would handle him if they were in charge. And one of them says that basically dreams that she is a Disney character, a Disney princess, and poisons him with his coffee. It poisons his coffee. And then she actually poisons his coffee on accident, and that sends this spiral thing happening. Nothing ever actually happens to him because he doesn't drink the coffee.
Yeah.
But they think he drinks the coffee, so she steals a corpse from the hospital. Thinking that it's him, and they can't do an autopsy if he's not there, if the body's not there, so she steals a corpse. And also, whenever they realize that it's a corpse, that was hilarious.
Yes.
Like Dolly's character,
it's just one of those movies that every twist and turn. When I saw it for the first time, I was like, this cannot get any worse. This cannot get any worse.
It's so ridiculous. But when they first realize that the body is not their boss, Dolly is Dolly's character is the one who figures it out, and she goes to get into the trunk for something, and she's like, "Oh, okay. Hey, would you come here?" And she slowly counts them over, and they're just like, "Who is that?" And it's just so ridiculous. And then they end up like locking up their boss in a weird like contraption with a garage door and like a hang gliding outfit and some dog collars and a bunch of stuff. So that like it's just so random.
And while he's like in this contraption, all the while they are pretending he's sending in all these like memos and changing the office culture for the better. And oh my God, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
And the company's more productive, and then eventually he gets out of it, and they come back, and it's so funny.
And the reason he gets put in the contraption in the first place, by the way, is because he finds out what happened, and he's basically like, oh, well, I'm gonna have you all put in jail for trying to kill me, even though it was an accident and I didn't even know that it happened because I just fell and hit my head. But, you know, you guys I just don't like you, and I'm just gonna be a you know what, and just try to get you all put in jail for the rest of your lives. So they end up tying him up and they end up finding some dirt on him that he's been embezzling from the company that he works for. But they can't get the paperwork for like weeks, so they tie him up in this like weird contraption in his own house so that he can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
He can walk to the bathroom, he can sit on the sofa and on the bed and watch TV, and that's about it. Like,
yeah, because he's basically on a leash.
Yeah, he's basically on a massive leash in his own house, which is hilarious. But it's just a ridiculous movie. When did you first see it? Because I had never seen it before this week.
Oh, when I was young. My mom played it for me when I was young.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes
hilarious.
sense.
I've seen it several times. And another thing I love about it is there's so many good like quotes and one-liners in it. My favorite, and I wrote this down because this was always my favorite. When Dolly's character says, if you ever say another word about me or make another indecent proposal, I'm going to get that gun of mine and I'm going to change you from a rooster to hen with one shot. That was always my favorite. Like because obviously I'm always like, yeah, women empowerment. Yeah. Just so freaking funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that always got me.
That's a good one. You know, it's weird because I do like movies, but I've never been really one. Like, I know a lot of people who can just like quote a movie and just quote lines out of a movie and stuff. I never have been one to be able to do that. I don't know why.
Very rarely.
Yeah. Like, there's a few that I know, but it's usually because it's such a popular quote or something that everybody knows it.
That a lot of people say it.
Yeah, but I don't.
Like The Godfather or something.
Yeah, but there's no. A lot of people will know quotes from movies that I like, but I just don't remember that phrase being said. Like,
I'm
just
the
don't
same
remember
way.
it.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. The fact that you do remember quotes from this one is interesting too. Obviously, it had somewhat of an impression on you.
Yeah.
But anyway, they are, you know, we've talked about how they hold him hostage. He ends up escaping and then trying to, and then he goes in, realizes that they've changed the office. His boss comes up and is like, oh, you've made this better. We've boost production in the last 6 weeks by like 60%. And it's like, yeah, because the horrible person isn't around anymore to do anything. But he actually gets his comeuppance by getting a promotion, which is an interesting way to make him lose. Like, having him get a promotion to make him lose is interesting, because the promotion is he's going to go now be in Brazil for the next 3 years to run their office down there, because that's what they want him to do, which is funny. But it is technically a promotion, but he's got to go to Brazil. And I also thought it was interesting how they ended the movie, because that's basically how the end of it goes. But after that, when the credits are rolling, they did what they do with
future,
like what they do with
what
a
is
movie.
that called, like post credits or
I don't know what it's actually called, but it's like if the movie is based on a real story and it's like, this is what happened to this person actually, and what they did after
like
this.
a where they are now type of thing.
They did that with this, which is kind of comical. And Dolly's was that she became a country music artist, or she left and became a country music star, which is funny. And that's actually what she was, even when she was in this. And then he was, their boss was something along the lines of, he was kidnapped by a Brazilian tribe and never seen again, which is
I know.
Hilarious.
That always made me die laughing. So good.
But obviously, like, 9 to 5, 1980. When did the song come out?
The same. So that was actually going to be my I teased in our last episode that I had a fun fact about 9 to 5. So she
Okay.
wrote, yeah, so she wrote 9 to 5 backstage. It was released in 1980.
Okay.
The way that she wrote it, so we talked about all the different instruments and things. She
Mm-hmm.
can't read sheet music, but she plays tons of different instruments. She wrote 9 to 5 by clicking her acrylic nails together to a rhythm. So like making a rhythm with her nails, and they're obviously like the fake nails.
Yeah.
So they made a really loud noise, and she like came up with the tune basically, and then put lyrics to it, and it was all done backstage.
Interesting.
Like while filming. Yeah.
That is interesting.
That was my fun fact about
the
song 9 to 5.
So the movie came out in 1980, and the song came out in 1980. So released as a single in November of 1980.
Yeah.
So when did the movie come? Was the song made for the movie then?
Yeah, she wrote it.
You saying she wrote it
filming.
backstage during filming? Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if... See, I thought this was made afterwards. I would have figured this was like, okay, yeah, this is...
No, I think it was...
She had the song,
time.
and she had the song, and she was like, oh, yeah, well, we're going to... we want to make a movie with the song in it or something, so we're just going to name it that, and we're going to make it dumb.
No, because she had dreams of having an acting career, and she did. She did do several other things, like The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, and there were some other movies for sure. Yeah, and so she wrote that backstage. The other thing, this is not related to Dolly necessarily, but the film itself highlights a specific organization, the National Association of Working Women. And so it just goes to Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin, and Dolly. They're all very like charitable minded.
Mm-hmm.
And so they used this film to also bring awareness. Obviously, this is like screwball comedy, like off the wall, off the chains.
Yeah.
But it highlighted a very real issue in the 80s and 90s of women's working conditions.
Oh,
yeah. So I always liked that about it too.
Which is good. Like, and also I will say, like, everything I've ever seen with Lily Tomlin, she's wearing like crazy outfits or whatever. Like Dolly was pretty subdued in this. Like she was wearing a shirt and a skirt most of the time or whatever. And Jane Fonda's character is kind of like the I don't want to say stuck up, but like the
more like put together.
Yeah, she's like very proper, like primped and proper kind of that. Lily Tomlin's character was exactly what I expected it to be. Like as soon as she walks in and she's like in like a kimono type thing, like in the office, I'm like, yeah, that seems like exactly what it should be.
It is. Yeah, I know. Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin are funny, and we talked. I think it was us that talked a little bit about Grace and Frankie in that show, and it's very much the same personalities almost.
It's a lot of fun, and this was a lot of fun. I actually didn't expect. I knew it was a comedy, so I knew I would like it to a certain extent. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did, and I didn't expect it to be as ridiculous as it was. Because, like I said, once you like, it's kind of normal and everything up to when you get the little fantasy cutaways when they're all like trying to figure out what's going on with him. But as soon as that happens, I was like, okay, well, this has to be the craziest thing that's going to happen in this movie. Nope, not even close. Not even close. It just keeps getting worse. And I'm just like, okay, sure. Why not? I'm just along for the ride at this point because it was a lot of fun. It was ridiculous. But yeah, that is 9 to 5. I think the song was probably it was nominated. Wait, hold on. Is this right?
I think it was one of her highest charting.
Nominated for 1 Oscar. Okay, it was nominated for 1 Oscar. For Best Original Song, of course, 9 to 5. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Like it's a short, less than 2 hour movie. It's an hour and 50 minutes. Like if you want something fun to watch and ridiculous, this is like, you can't go wrong with this, because it's just a dumb comedy. Like,
yeah,
and it's a lot of fun. Like
the Dolly Parton version of an Adam Sandler movie. Like, it's just all over the place.
Yeah, and I also, I thought it was interesting and nice that, and I don't know who wrote it, but Dolly was kind of like she was kind of played as like the dumb blonde. Like, it was comical to see her in that, because that's, like we talked about in the actual Dolly Parton episode, that she kind of portrays that, like, that's what she's always
leans into it.
Tried to be. So it's interesting that that's like what she was, but it's it's just it was just a lot of fun, and I recommend it for just about anybody who wants something to do, because it's just ridiculous. But I think unless you have anything else, Nick, I think that's it for this.
No.
I think I talked a lot for this compared to you, which is even though I'm not the Dolly Parton
to be fair, my 3 pages of notes went pretty long on our actual Dolly Parton main episode, so I think we're good.
Okay. Well, anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and I don't know what we're watching next week. Let's see here. Hold on. I do this all the time, and I really should prepare better. Bridge Over the River Kwai. That's what we're watching next week. So watch that.
I will not be watching
you
that.
Won't be watching
Have
that.
fun.
Yeah, I know you won't be watching that. I'll be watching that, and hopefully you'll be watching that with me. And we'll talk about it next week. And I'll see you then.